Dear students, today in this video we shall be learning about techniques of organizational development. In the previous video we understood what is organization, what is change and what is development. In this video we shall understand all the 7 techniques in development of an organization. These techniques are also known as organizational development interventions. These techniques are considered as various activities which consult on client's organization performance for improving organizational functioning. Organizational development interventions are set of structured activities in which selected organization units engage with a task or a sequence of tasks where the task goals are related directly or indirectly to organizational improvement. Okay, out of top 7 techniques of organization development, the first technique stands to be survey feedback form. This is a method to collect information from any member of an organization, irrespective of top, middle, or low. This is the most popularly and widely method used to collect data. What kind of data has been collected? Data such as related to working conditions, work environment, quality of work, working hours, wages, salaries, attitude of employees, and team related activities. All such kind of data is been collected from the members of the organization, and a team of managers analyze this. They try to find out what is the problem. They try to evaluate and result in finding out solutions. And this information is collected from all the members of the organization. And managers conduct a meeting and try to meet their subordinates and have a discussion and try to collect information and allow their subordinates to interpret the data. After this, plans are prepared for making necessary changes. This procedure is followed at all levels of management involving all employees in the organization. The second technique is team building. This is yet another method of organizational development, and the entire technique stands on a moral that we would have come across when we were in childhood, that is unity strength. So this method is specifically designed to make improvements in the ability of employees and motivate them to work together. It is an organizational development technique which emphasizes on team building or forming work groups in order to improve organizational effectiveness. These teams may be consisting of 10 to 15 persons, and employees of these groups are of same rank, who shall have a supervisor, or you can even call him as a team leader. So basically a group shall be having 10 to 15 members who are of same rank, who belongs to the same rank, having one supervisor or a team leader. They undergo group discussion under the supervision of the expert to trainer or a team leader, and the trainer or the team leader only guides but does not participate in the group discussion. This method of team building is used because people in general do not open up their mind. Yes, they do not open up their mind. They try to hide themselves and not be honest to their fellows, as they do not mix up openly and fail to express their views either to their colleagues or peers or their superiors. These techniques help them to express their views and see how others interpret their views. It increases the sensitivity to others' behavior. They become more aware to each of them. They become more aware to the group functioning. They get exposed to the creative thinking of others and socio-psychological behavior at the workplace. They learn many aspects of interpersonal behavior, try to understand each other and their interactions with them. Now the third technique is sensitivity training, and just now we saw about team building. Now in team building, employee of a same team is allowed to interact with their team members in order to understand them better, which helps him to improve his team building skills, which improves himself to work as a team and become more functional. Whereas in case of a sensitivity training, a platform is provided by the organization, where by using that platform, Maybe for an example, employee of one team from one department can contact and interact an employee from another team of some other department. Basically, this platform is provided by the organization so that each and every member of the organization may understand each of them, and they feel free, become more fearless. This sensitivity training can also be called as a laboratory training, and this laboratory training or a sensitivity training has some assumptions. First assumption is that if the goals are achieved by one, that person will become more defensive about him or herself. Now, suppose if the work is being given to a person, if that person is finished that work, if that person finishes that work, he or she becomes more defensive about himself or herself and becomes less fearful, and their intentions would be more of responsive to others' need and less interruptions to others' behavior and negative fashion. Under this technique, the different group of employees are allowed to mix up with each other and communicate freely and build up interpersonal relationship. And they learn the reflections of their behavior and try to improve them. Sensitivity training is a group of experience designed to provide maximum possible opportunities for an individual to expose their behavior, maybe not just behavior, also give and receive their feedback, experiment with their new behavior, develop awareness of self and others. So, this is what is the objective behind sensitivity training. The next technique of organizational development is managerial grid. Now, this technique was proposed by industrial psychologist Dew Robert Black and Jenny Mountain. The concept of managerial grid identifies two major dimensions of management behavior. First dimension focuses on people, and second dimension focuses on production. That means that they are oriented towards people who are working in the organization and production that the organization has taken up. It is an attempt to pay increased attention to both the variables, that is people and the production or the task. So it is a technique which basically integrates individual and a team. It gels both individual and a team for development of the organization. It seeks to promote organization excellence by forecasting concern for production and concern for people. Maybe working on the premises that most organizational problems stems from poor communication and inadequate planning. This technique does not only focuses on gelling individual and a team, but also focuses on improving communications within the team, from one team to another team, from one level to another level, and also tries to improve the intelligence or intellect amongst the team or amongst the organization. The next technique is management by objective, which is also popularly known as MBO. This technique is developed or proposed by Peter F. Drucker in 1954. It is a method of achieving organizational objective and a technique of evaluation and review of performance. More than calling it as a review of performance, it can also be understood as technique that is designed to increase the perception of planning process at the organizational level. And this MOB, management by objective, also helps to bridge the gap or to reduce the gap between the employee and the organizational goal. It basically encourages the performance appraisal through a process of shared goal setting and uh, evolution. Under this method, objectives of the organizations are fixed and responsibility to achieve them lies on the managers, and results are expected from them. This MBO or management by objective process involves four major steps. Step 1, goal settings or effective plannings by top management. Next, individual goals or setting of individual goals related to organizational goals by managers and subordinates. Next, provide considerable autonomy or freedom or some amount of decentralization in developing and selecting means for achieving objectives. Next, number four, making appraisals or regulating the performance in relation to the objectives. The performance of employees is reviewed and appraised in relation to the goals, and this shall help the subordinates to make corrections if any further improvements has to be made by them. These are the four key factors that has to be remembered when we speak on MBO, management by objective. Yet another technique of organizational development is quality circle. It can also be called as QWL, quality work life, or QWLP, which means quality work life program. Basically in this system, a group of 5 or 12 come together at their own wish and will, without anybody's force, during their working hours once in a week, and discuss about the problems, and suggest the solutions to the management for implementation. The supervisors remain present during the meeting, during such kind of, maybe you can call it as a formal or a informal meeting. These quality circles have their origin from Japan in 1960, which improved the quality, reduced cost, and heightened the morale of the workers. It is designed to create work situation that enhances employees' motivation, satisfaction, and commitment factors that may contribute to high level of organizational performances, which is collectively called as QWLP or QWL or QC, that is quality circle or quality work life or quality work life program. These are designed to remove the bad situations that is associated with work. That is the basic aim behind this quality circle. The last technique under organizational development is transactional analysis. Transactional analysis helps people to understand each other better. This technique is used for human relations and leadership training. Its objective is very narrow, but still it increases the trainees' skills, ability in dealing with others. It can also be used in human relations training and sales development training, because both of these involve dealing with others. It is a useful tool for organizational development, but it has diverse applications in training, counseling, interpersonal communication, and making analysis of group dynamics. And nowadays it is widely used in organizational development techniques in almost all organizations. Basically, it helps in developing more adult ego state among people of the organization. It is also used in process of consultation and team building. Basically, a conflict situation is artificially created, and two or more trainees are assigned different roles to play, and no dialogues are given before in hand. The players are provided with either a oral description or a written description of the situation and the role they to the role that they play. And after the situations is been given, sufficient time is been provided for the players to think on their roles, and they are allowed for their actions, and their actions are very much spontaneous before the class. So this is what is called as transactional analysis. So today we have discussed on top 7 techniques that is being imparted to develop the organization. Technique number 1, survey feedback form. Technique number 2, team building activity. Technique number 3, sensitivity training. Technique number 4, managerial grid. Technique number 5, management by objective. Technique number 6, quality circles. Technique number 7, transactional analysis. So if at all you have any doubts, you can mail to the given mail ID. In case if you have my number, WhatsApp number, you can ping me through WhatsApp. Thank you.